Welcome everyone, this is a chess game once again. Haven't seen something like that a long time on my channel, and the competitors are Deep Rybka against Stockfish, and Stockfish is the latest development version from 7th of January in 2014. So let's start, and yes, okay, calculation has started, and Deep Rybka its turn. Deep Rybka is playing white and Stockfish is playing black, so I thought that the older engine should have a slight advantage by taking the white pieces. And yeah, it starts with d2 to d4, and this is quite usual. The reply of Stockfish was much quicker actually. I don't know why. The time is 5 minutes per side, so no time increments as far as I'm aware of, but I'm not 100% sure. There could be one. I will have to look at it, but now we see I don't know what this variation is called. It's Queen's Gambit, actually. So you can't see that, but I can see everything. I see more than you. I won't show you, so I can do as if I knew anything about this. It's Queen's Gambit and declined. I can also say that, but I actually know that this means that the C pawn is not taken, but why would you? Because it would just help this. Actually, I have a pointer here, and I think it is also recorded, so I can explain more. If you now take, it is better because the bishop has already moved, because usually when you take, then the bishop retakes, and it is at a marvelous spot. And now the position looks quite mirrored. The only difference is that this knight isn't developed yet, but he won't do that. He actually captures, and I think we will see the recapture is, well, I would have thought probably with the knight, but he retook with the pawn, which is, I don't really like that, because if black now captures this one, you have this isolated pawn. It can be strong, because it is a good position as an outpost, for example, for these knights. You can put the knight here, and it's very strong, obviously, because it is attacking into the opponent's area. Right now the position is, they see it really equal. Rybka sees a slight advantage, Rybka that is white, and Stockfish also for white, but the advantage is not as big as it was at the start of the game. So we are talking about a tenth of a pawn, but now Stockfish thinks it's perfectly equal. We'll see how it goes. Stockfish is known to be drawing much more than the other top engines. But let's get back to the game. So the weakness for white is this pawn. I don't really see any weakness in the pawn structure of black. Not obviously, but I personally would like the black position a little more. One weakness, probably a slight weakness, is that the queen is kinda exposed, but doesn't matter because the pass is blocked by the pawn here. Now black could, for example, develop his rook here. That's what I would do. This move, well, why not? It can be taken, but it isn't a benefit, because it could be recaptured with the bishop, for example. I don't really like this knight here, but it also isn't bad. Now it's yeah, what I'm just trying to think what this was going to accomplish. Now this knight can exchange himself for the pawn. This would actually, not for the pawn, for the white knight, and this would actually repair the pawn structure for white, because this pawn wouldn't be so far away anymore. But he now decided to play it here. Yeah, that's also good, because now this one is hanging, but not anymore, because he can just protect it that way. Around half of the game is over, because it's 5 minutes per side and 2.5 minutes have been played from either side. And now black forced the exchange here. Black sees a very slight advantage for himself, but not a really big one. And what was taken here? I think there was a knight, or was it? I didn't really pay attention. Oh, isn't this rook? Who's... it's white's turn, so of course it's not endangered. I also, well, in this case, it could be equalized. I really don't like to play with something like that, but for the engine it seems to be okay. It hasn't been seen any big weakness for that. White's turn now. That's a move I would never have made, because if black would retreat here, then the queen would be attacked. But now this queen is also attacked. Of course this only works if the bishop is protected, but it is. It's a relatively complicated position with a lot of pieces protecting and attacking each other, and I can't really follow at this speed. I would need much more time to understand what actually is going on. The evaluation still is relatively even, but slightly favored for black, in black's opinion that is. Now white's opinion also is that black is slightly better. Yeah, having the rook on an open file is better than having it on a semi-open file. And now he threatens to exchange of all of these pieces at the side, these pawns. This has been accomplished more or less. I really think that in the long term it's a disadvantage for white to have this isolated pawn. Now there's another isolated pawn, but no, it's not really. Yeah, it is isolated, but it is not the passed pawn, because for that there shouldn't be any pawn in the way, and this also is not a passed pawn. Okay, now these are also exchanged off. Material is still equal, but once again, this pawn structure, the longer it goes, the better, the bigger is the advantage of having a complete pawn structure where all pawns are connected. Now now he just lost this pawn. This is a huge advantage for black now, and the moves are getting quicker, and it gets harder and harder to follow the game actually. I don't think that it is a good format to present such games. I should probably have them play the game before and then just go through the moves. Or I should have taken a longer time control so I can actually understand what's going on. Now I think that black is trying to go and exchange everything off, and then have a pawn advantage. But the advantage isn't, I think, currently isn't big enough to force a win. I think that white can force a queen exchange, but probably black can make it so that the white king is in a position where black has an ensured... Yeah, and Stockfish sees a checkmate. And now Rybka also sees the checkmate. Rybka sees it in 79 moves, but Stockfish sees it in 11 moves. Yeah, and now mate is inevitable. Getting 2 queens makes it faster. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so to answer the question, Stockfish is stronger than Rybka. It is only one game, but I think it is fair to assume that it was enough. But I think actually that the thing that I criticized about white was probably exactly why it lost. And I will go back to the position I was talking about, if I can find it. Yeah, here we already have the position. Is this the right direction? Yes. Yes, this I think it was pretty much here that this pawn already was here. So it now still look good, but this pawn very hard to hold on it, and that's what actually happened. It took Stockfish quite a while to exploit this weakness, but he eventually did it and won. So hope you enjoyed it. Probably not so much because it was really hard to follow this game, but it's just a little test. And so goodbye.